Hello, my name is Jimmy and welcome to the 2024 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon 4xe. Essentially, what that all means is this is a 100,000 Canadian dollar Jeep. Remember when they were like 30,000 Canadian dollars? Yeah, I barely remember that. But yeah, 100 Canadian thousand dollars. What do you get with all of that? Well, you get a 2-liter turbo 4 with battery pack under the rear floor, giving you 375 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. So let's floor it. Oh, that takes a second. It's quick once it gets going, but it needs a second to get going. In fact, this is actually the second fastest Wrangler you can get. The first being, of course, the Hemi V8. But this, well, you just don't get the full utilization until everything kicks in. So if you're driving around in hybrid or electric mode, you gotta give it a minute. However, you throw it into manual, you downshift by pushing forward. I love it. Floor it. And then you get all that power, unless you, for whatever reason, don't want to upshift. I mean, it's a Jeep. If you want it to go fast and scare you, that's in any Jeep, because it's a scary driving experience. I'm literally moving this almost like a quarter of a turn both ways, and it's not doing a thing. Let's be honest, if you're buying a Jeep because it's good to drive, no, you're not buying a Jeep. You're probably ending up at a Bronco somewhere or something else, a Grand Cherokee, but not a Wrangler. Definitely not a Wrangler. But let me tell you everything you need to know. For 2024 here, you do get an updated front grille. I think it looks good. Some people absolutely hate it. However, I do see people retrofitting this grille on the older JLs. So, I don't know. Jeep owners, you discuss on your own which grille is best. But it's still a good looking front end. I got a synthetic rope worn winch right in the center, LED headlights, fog lights. I do like the 4xe hood as well with the louvers. It's a good looking front end. On the side, pretty typical Wrangler. 17-inch wheels, 33-inch KO2s, rock sliders, and on the rear LED taillights. And of course, because it is a 4xe, you do get a lot of little blue bits and pieces. I mean, it's a Jeep. It looks exactly the same as, when it first got introduced as a Willys. Let's be honest. You can definitely see the resemblance, right? But, while underneath, it's very similar because you do get solid axles front and rear. They did do some updates on the inside. So let's open up the trunk here with this side opening gate, and we get 28 cubic feet of space. Plenty for most people's needs. And yeah, because it is a Jeep, there's a bunch of accessories of how we can modify this into like a shelving system to really utilize this space. Because it is a 4xe though, unfortunately, you can't fold the rear bench completely flat. I mean, even the Wranglers, you can't be completely flat, but a lot more flat than this. This has like a good hump before those rear seats. But because of that, there's plenty of owners getting like a platform, and then you can put storage underneath it. I mean, Jeep owners, you guys are just amazing in terms of kind of what you can kind of think of, to make your Wrangler habitable. A little platform, put your bed or whatever on top, and you got your perfect overland rig, right? There is a little bit of understorage as well underneath the rear floor. I mean, that's the same with basically all Wranglers, so you still get that. As for the back seats, it's plenty comfortable. Headroom, legroom, both are really good, even if the roof was closed. The one thing I would say is because the 4xe, you do sit a little bit higher than the standard Wranglers, you do have to watch out for the airbags here on the side, because if you tilt your head just to the right a little bit, you will be knocking it if you're a little bit taller. I mean, I'm 5'11" and I still hit it. So if you're like 6'2" or something, just, well, watch your head. You do get your vents in the center, your window switches, USB ports, as well as a 115-volt outlet in the center. And that's really it in terms of amenities, because they want to move everything from the doors to the inside, as of course you can take the doors off. If you're thinking of fitting child seats in here, I am a child passenger safety technician. And on the driver's side, this is a collect-laying infant seat. There's no problems getting the base of the infant carrier in here. The lower anchors are easy enough to find. In terms of putting the actual seat inside, also really no issues. There's plenty of space within the door. While they are a little bit smaller, there's still enough to get an infant carrier in here. On the passenger side, this is a collect FIMF. And while it does almost reach the ceiling at its upper height, you shouldn't have any problems because that is at the upper height adjustment that it can. So even if your child is rear facing or forward facing, you shouldn't really have any issues. And myself at 5'11", I still fit in front of the seat here. But let's move up front. Up here, I mean, the Napa leather is nice. You got the Rubicon stitched on the seat itself. No real issues. Electric sliding seats with 4-way lumbar support. Is as comfortable as you would expect a Wrangler to be. Of course, the seat itself is heated along with your heated steering wheel, which is definitely nice on nippy, cold winter days like today. Behind that, you do get an updated cluster here. The resolution of the screen in the center is higher, so it does show more information than before. However, being a 4xe, that left cluster with the tack is not often used as, well, if you're on battery, that thing just stays at 0. It just says ready every now and then. And on the right, it does tell you, well, how much power you're outputting within your powertrain. In terms of the infotainment, this is all new here, and it is a much wider, better infotainment than before. Of course, the screen being bigger, it is shifted off to the passenger side a little bit. Some may find that super annoying, but I get it. You don't want it behind the steering wheel because then you can't utilize it at all. It's a good infotainment, and the latest Uconnect works really well. Wireless CarPlay, Android Auto, yeah, no complaints here. And you still get all the physical buttons underneath that for your climate control and your window switches, auxiliary switches, front and rear lockers. It's all there. So it's exactly how the Wrangler would be and should be right from the get-go, except just update it to make things a little bit more, well, up to 2024 standards. And of course, they did have to do some of these changes to entice those Bronco owners to be like, hey, you know what? We're still in it. We still got cool things here. As for the powertrain, as said, this is the plug-in hybrid variant. So I got a 2-liter turbo 4. Mated to that is the electrical motor and the 8-speed automatic. Combined horsepower, 375, 470 pound-feet of torque. And what that means is you're able to go electrically 25 miles or about 38 kilometers of pure EV range. For some, that's good for just going to work, charge at work, and going back. And for others, they might want to click that e-save button right here, so that way they can save that electrical mileage for when they're out on the trails. Either case, this is a, well, more efficient platform than the Pentastar would be. So you get that. However, I mean, you're paying a lot more for this. 100K? I mean, okay, let's be honest. You don't have to pay 100K for the Wrangler with the 4xe. I think a base 4xe is like 60, 61, 62, somewhere around there. It's still higher than the Pentastar, yeah, but, you know, you could do the calculation to see what's worth it in your books. In terms of how it drives, you don't buy a Jeep because you like how it drives. Let's be very honest. The steering has no feel. The suspension is designed for off-road, so it's very soft. But it's also comfortable because going over bumps like this, absolutely no problems. And you're driving city streets, you're not really going to notice too much other than a little bit of wind noise around, well, everywhere. The only thing I found is when you're on the highway, though, woo, things get very exciting. The steering wheel on center is like nothing. And of course, being a recirculating ball steering, you can do all sorts of things and you won't be able to stay within the center of the lane. And then the wind noise. Like, I thought the windows were open. It's absolutely crazy. But it doesn't matter. These are Jeep things. These are why people want a Jeep. It's crazy. I know. I don't understand. Some owners are fully like just acceptance of this amount of wind noise. But hey, people have like soft top Wranglers with that fabric bikini top, and they've been fine with those. I shouldn't be complaining with this hard top at all. And to be honest, I'm relatively warm in here. I got my heated seats. I'm decently comfortable. Sure, it doesn't have lane keep assist, but it does have adaptive cruise control, so at least there's that. Sure, it's not the most comfortable thing. A Bronco will probably be better on the road. Off-road, well, I'll let you people in the comments discuss exactly why your Jeep is better than a Bronco, and the Bronco owners, well, I'll let you discuss why your Bronco is better than the Wrangler, because there's no way I'm falling into that discussion. Not at all. You gotta love a Jeep for what it is, right? It's a very compromised machine, just in case you want to go off-road. And when you do go off-road, you know it's capable of doing many, many things. And that's why we love a good Jeep. And that's why we still have these. And that's why, well, they sell so many of these. Is the 4xe the one that I would choose? Maybe not. I mean, the Pentastar at this point is reliable, let's be honest. I would love the Hemi, but it's a little thirsty. So the Pentastar is probably like, you know, the one that will be actually not too bad. In any case, thank you so much for watching this video and enjoying this Wrangler with me. And I didn't die, which is always a good thing, right? Yeah, I'll catch you next time. Take care.